Hi everybody, welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL, thanks for joining me. In this video I'm sharing with you 10 Perfume Parlour fragrances I've been wearing this winter. Stay tuned to FM. Okay, so Perfume Parlour, as you probably know if you've watched a few of my videos for the last 12 months or so, is a house that I really enjoy. They're really affordable, they're really cheap. They do colognes or very popular niche designer fragrances. It's what got me hooked onto fragrance. It was my gateway into niche fragrances because niche fragrances are so expensive. So with Perfume Parlour, I'll often buy their version of a fragrance first if it's a fragrance that I'm interested in, and I'll wear it and I'll see how it works on my skin. And then I know it's going to be pretty close to the original, so if I really like it, I will often go and buy the original bottle. It is really cheap, it's a cheap way of doing that. I almost use it as a sampling method, and because I've got so many fragrances, I just buy the smallest sprayers, the smallest bottle size, which comes in 13ml. 13ml is a good amount of juice to really wear a fragrance, really spend some time with a fragrance and decide whether it's for you or not. And these come in around £5 or £6. Some of them are remarkably close, some maybe not quite as close, but even if they're not quite that close to the original, they can still be really nice scents and they can give you a good idea of the original. But I would say all the 10 that I've got in this video to me seem very close to the originals. So let's get into the list. The first one is one of my favourites from the Tom Ford Private Blend. Actually, I think there may be another 2 in here from the Private Blend. I think it seems to be a line that Perfume Parlour do really well out of the ones that I've experienced and out of the ones I've directly compared. And by the way, all the 10 scents in this list aren't rated from worst to best. They're just 10 Perfume Parlour fragrances that I've been wearing this winter. So the one I have in my hand here is Tobacco's Oud, which is a copy of Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud. It's really close. I think this one is maybe a little bit less animalic than the original, which does have quite an animalic accord, which can be a little bit divisive to some people. I'd say this is a touch smoother. The whiskey booziness comes through a little bit more than an animalic accord, but you do still get some of that animalic accord in this. It is just a beautiful, thick, full-bodied scent, perfect for wearing in the winter, either dressed up in a suit or wearing a black polo neck and a suit jacket. I think if you want to be slightly bold, slightly daring, have an air of confidence and feel good in yourself, you know, have that great confident feeling, then Tobacco Oud is certainly, for me anyway, a scent that will achieve that. Okay, the next one I've picked up is one of my favourite designers. It's from Mugler and it's Amen Pure Heaven, which is a take on Amen Pure Havan. I love Pure Havan. The honey, the tobacco, that original Amen DNA with the extra depth and sweetness. I just think it's a beautiful scent. It's maybe not as refined as Naxos, which is what it's very similar to. Naxos honey tobacco scent, but it's kind of in the same genre. I think you probably get better performance from Naxos and a slightly richer, more refined scent, whereas Pure Havan is just a little louder and wants to get noticed a little bit more. Although the performance of Naxos is fantastic, it's pretty much beast mode. Pure Havan and Perfume Parlour's version, I wouldn't say is beast mode. It does project really nicely first couple of hours, and then it's just a really cozy, resinous tobacco and honey skin scent. Really nice. Next up is one from Creed. Now you might not necessarily associate this as being a winter scent because it doesn't really have dark or resinous notes, but it's one for me that works all year round. I've really been enjoying this one. I bought a bottle of this for my dad, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, and I was walking behind him and I was just getting his sillage trail and it just smelled amazing. Performance was great, it lasted on him all day. We went out into York City Centre, we were there all day, we had a meal in the evening, and we got back home at the end of the day and he was still projecting Creed Viking. So Perfume Parlour's version is called Vikings. I have got a sample of the original, so I have tried them side by side. It's very close. I don't think it quite gets the refinement and roundedness that Creed's Viking does, because obviously that's a much more expensive fragrance. But in the air, I don't really tell that much of a difference. It gives you those herbal notes, it gives you that really gorgeous kind of fresh minty note. This isn't a fresh scent though. The notes in here do seem to work well in the winter, which is why I've been wearing it in the winter and indeed in the summer and all year round. So Vikings is a beautiful scent, and at the moment I would say it's definitely in my top 3 Creed fragrances. My old mate Tom is here again, and this time he's giving us another beautiful tobacco scent. This one is sweeter than tobacco oud. It's a little louder, gorgeous tobacco and vanilla, and it is tobacco vanille. So Perfume Parlour's version is called Tobacco's Vanillas. I've got to say, I get fantastic performance off this, just like I do with the Tom Ford. In terms of the scent, where's the nozzle? There it is. I mean, it is tobacco vanille. If someone smells this off you, if someone smells this in the air, and they know tobacco vanille, they're gonna say you're wearing tobacco vanille. If you were to test these side by side on skin and you were really digging deep, I'm sure you could pick up differences, as you would do with most of these scents, because they are much cheaper and they are clones, and as hard as they try to get their formulation as exact to the originals, it's never going to be 100% exact. I don't think any clone can be 100%. Sometimes, and I'm no expert, I feel like I can't tell the difference, so my perception sometimes I can think, well, maybe that is 100%. But I'm not saying that's the case for everybody. There may be more refined and expert noses out there than mine, and you might be able to pick out the differences. But what I'm trying to say is that in the air, I don't think there's much difference at all, and certainly people around you smelling it wouldn't know the difference either. Next up, it's another tobacco. Surprise, surprise, you know I love my tobaccos and they work so well in the cooler months, so I've been wearing a lot of tobacco scents. This one is based on a fragrance from one of my favourite houses. It's Parfums de Mali. I don't yet have a bottle of this, but it was on my 2019 wishlist video, so hopefully I will grab a bottle this year, because it is just a beautiful interpretation of a tobacco scent, and it is Herod. Perfume Parlour's version is called Herod's. It's almost the same. There are a few little differences. I think I get a bit more incense out of the Parfums de Mali, but you get that lovely, rich, wet tobacco mixed with the vanilla, and you do get a little bit of incense from this, but side by side I can tell the difference. But in the air, again, there's hardly any difference between this and the original. This is a beautiful tobacco scent. The next one is not a tobacco scent, but don't worry, there's some more tobacco to come. This one is another fragrance that was on my wish list to pick up this year in 2019. It's from a house that I love, and I do own 3 bottles of fragrances. It's Nasomatto. It is my favourite from the house, which is a shame that I don't have a bottle of it yet, but that's why I've been wearing this one. And it's Nasomatto's Pardon. Perfume Parlour's version is called Pardoned. This is a lovely kind of dark chocolate and oud fragrance. It's got sweetness to it, it's got boldness. You're wearing this, you're gonna feel confident in the same way that you would with Tobacco Oud from Tom Ford, because it's just ever so slightly challenging and daring. I think it does really jump off the skin and it stands out, and people are going to smell this, because this is a different type of smell to a lot of designer scents that maybe other people around you will be wearing. I wore another clone of this. It was actually from Alexandria Fragrances, No Apologies, which is also very good. I wore that for my Christmas party with my work, and I was getting people mentioning all night, you know, what's that you're wearing? It smells really interesting. They just weren't used to smelling it, but it's got that sweetness to it, so it is very pleasing to smell. So it's different, it's daring, but it's still pleasing for others to smell. I find this to be really close to the original. I will be wearing this, I will be wearing my Alexandria Fragrances one. They're both really good until I get a bottle, and then when I get a bottle of Pardon, I'll probably still end up wearing these, because I know you should wear your fragrances, but you got that bottle sitting on your shelf, you don't want to use it up too quickly. So that's another a good thing about these and them being so cheap, is if you don't want to run down your bottle too quickly, maybe you want to save it and wear it for special occasions, and you fancy wearing that scent maybe just during the day, then perfect for it. The The next one is, I think, one of the most gourmand fragrances I've ever smelled. It's dark, it's mysterious, it's full of attitude, and it's by Kilian's Black Phantom, and Perfume Parlour's version is the same name. I think the name of it has now changed because mine is spelt Phantom with an F, and I believe that the more recent bottles do have a name change. I can't quite remember what it is. Someone leave a comment down below if you've got this and you know what the name change is, but I don't think it'll be that difficult to find. So this one, you've got rum, coffee, caramel. It's so dark and rich and deep and sweet. It's really an intoxicating scent. This is definitely a winter only scent. Maybe on some cooler autumn days you could get away with this, but this is so full and so rich and has such a big projection of me that I definitely wouldn't want to wear this in warmer weather. So warmer spring days, summer days, this is definitely not a fragrance that I will be pulling out, but during the colder months, Black Phantom is an utter delight. Okay, we've been too long without a tobacco scent, so let's have another one. This is one of my all-time favourite tobaccos. It's from the same house as the previous one, so it's another by Kilian scent. It's my favourite by Kilian. It's Back to Black, and Perfume Parlour's interpretation is Backs to Black. I've tested this against the original. I would say out of all the fragrances that I have from Perfume Parlour, this is probably the closest to the original. I can hardly tell any difference, and that was getting in close on skin as well. This has made the #1 list on a few of my videos. I think it was in my Perfume Parlour tobacco scents and my top 10 Perfume Parlour scents. Was it #1 in those? I can't remember. It was high up anyway. It's just an absolute beauty. This is probably now over a year old. So hopefully the formulation hasn't changed, because Perfume Parlour have definitely got it right with this one. And that's not just me, a lot of people have said. And if you have Back to Blacks and you've had it in the past from Perfume Parlour, then leave some comments down below. Let everyone know if you think it's really close to the original, if you think it's a really nice scent. Let everybody know, and that just gives people a good idea, rather than just me saying. If you can, any fragrances actually from Perfume Parlour, because there'll be lots that I haven't tried. So if there are any that you think are really, really good, leave some comments down below. Help all the viewers of this video out, and people will maybe decide that, you know, there's some fragrances that we'll pick up based on the comments. The next one is the only one in this video where I haven't smelled the original fragrance. I've not had a sample or a decant. I've not even smelled it in store, I don't think. It was recommended to me by somebody who left a comment in one of my earlier videos. They said it was one of the best fragrances that Perfume Parlour do, so I thought for £5 it was worth trying, and it absolutely was, because this is right up my street, this scent. It's dark, it's rich, it's resinous. It's based on a fragrance called Kalemat Black from the house of Arabian Oud, and Perfume Parlour's version is called Kalemat. And you can see that the colour of this juice is pretty dark, so you know that this is going to be quite a strong resinous fragrance. So in this one we've got some oud, resinous woods, feels like there's a bit of incense in there as well, so it's sweet, it's got plenty of depth, plenty of attitude, projects really well off me, lasts really well. I can highly recommend Kalemat. As I say, haven't smelled the original, so I don't know how close it is. I think the person who left the comment said that they thought it was pretty much exact to their nose, but having not smelled the original, I can't attest to that. But it's a scent that I really enjoy, and if you like this type of fragrance, I think you'll enjoy it too. I've just got to say thank you, Tom Ford, for making so many beautiful fragrances. I love your private blend. And this next one is, I think, my favourite in the private blend collection. It's Tuscan Leather. Perfume Parlour's version is called Tuscan Leather. Tom, if you are watching this, I think you watch my videos. I hope you do anyway. I'm buying a bottle of this, so I know I have a clone of Tuscan Leather. And this is actually my second bottle from Perfume Parlour. I had the first one, I had the smaller 13ml, and I was wearing it so much. I loved it that much that I bought a slightly bigger bottle. This is one of the few, I think this might be the only one in my Perfume Parlour collection that I have the bigger bottle, because I do wear it quite often. So based on the fact that I love this Perfume Parlour version so much, I'm hoping that this year I will be lucky enough to pick up a bottle at a good price, fingers crossed, of Tuscan leather. So that's just an example of sometimes how Perfume Parlour works for me, is if I really enjoy a scent, because I have got into collecting the fragrances and I would like to have Tuscan leather lined up with my other private blend bottles, then I'm going to pick up a bottle. I'll probably still wear this, I'll probably still wear other clones. There are lots of clones out there. I know Le Yucawam is a very popular one. I haven't directly tested Le Yucawam against this one, but I find this to be very smooth. If anything, it's maybe a little sweeter than the original Tom Ford, because that does have that quite potent leather note. And this one does too, but I think if I was really digging deep, if I was really nitpicking, I'd say that this one maybe just is a touch sweeter, but you still get that leather, you still get that raspberry, you still get that gorgeous scent profile. This is one of the scents that I love smelling of myself more than any other. I could just smell it all day. I've got to be careful not to. You know those scents that we really enjoy, the temptation is to wear them very often, and I would worry that I would start to get sick of it, or I would not want to get to the point where I felt like I needed a change. So I think it's really nice to have those scents that we really enjoy and wear them when we're really in the mood for them, rather than just overwearing them. But it is tempting to do, and it is something that you enjoy so much. So pretty close to the original. If you love Tom Ford's Tuscan leather, if anyone who smells this off you is familiar with Tuscan leather, then they're not going to be able to tell the difference. This is exact in the air. Yes, you know, you dig deep in your skin, you might find just certain little differences, but no one's doing that. You're not really going to be doing that when you're smelling yourself. Anyone who enjoys the smell isn't going to be coming up and sticking their nose on your arm. They're going to be smelling your scent bubble, they're going to be getting your sillage, and this will absolutely recreate the Tom Ford Tuscan leather vibe. So I know I've left it as the last one. Maybe I did that subconsciously, because maybe it is my favourite. Maybe this one is my number one Perfume Parlour. All 10 on the list are great. I can recommend all of them, certainly the formulations that I have. Now, it is mentioned in certain videos that people think that a scent they've had from Perfume Parlour is different to the same scent that they've had at an earlier time. I mean, I don't know. We don't even know with the big brands how these reformulations happen, if they happen, to what extent they happen. I'm sure, you know, any company that makes fragrances will have to deal with that to some degree, whether, you know, they change where they source their oils from or their ingredients. But I'm not sure. All I can tell you is that the formulations of these scents that I've got with me here now are my 10 favourite, certainly for winter. And yes, there are a few lighter scents that could get into my favourite Perfume Parlour list as well, but I do tend to gravitate towards more darker, richer, resinous scents anyway. So this could quite easily be the top 10 Perfume Parlour fragrances for me. But all of them I can say are really nice. Okay, that brings to an end my 10 recommended fragrances for the winter from Perfume Parlour. I'm sure many of you out there have tried these. I know there's a lot of people who like these Perfume Parlour videos. I think it's a company that, particularly in the UK, I know they do ship worldwide, but particularly in the UK, it's so affordable. There are a lot of people that are big fans of the company. So let me know if you've tried any of these fragrances. I'd love to hear your thoughts on them, and please make some recommendations for other scents that you think work really well in the wintertime, or if you think Perfume Parlour have come up with just a composition that you think is so good that you want to share it with everybody who's watching this video. I'm sure all the viewers and the readers of the comments will appreciate that massively. So leave some comments if you've got some good intel for us. If you're interested in trying any of these fragrances out from Perfume Parlour, you can follow my link, which I'll leave in the description below this video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and remember, keep tuning into FM and keep smelling good.